Holistic lifestyle modification. I left off talking about superfoods and pasteurization, and the concept that pasteurization doesn't work because the germs are everywhere present, and as soon as you open the bottle, it's once more full of germs. And so the goal is to keep your body alkaline. This is even Louis Pasteur's words. The biological terrain, which is, the pH balance and mineral content of your internal body, is what determines whether the germs can proliferate or not. So an alkaline body, these germs all need acidity to flourish. So we can't keep them out of our bodies. Pasteurization is, it's a wasted technology, I'm afraid. Maybe there's some other benefit from it. I didn't research that, but so keeping your body alkaline is primary in order to staying healthy. And, there's many ways of doing that. And I'm afraid superfoods aren't really the way to go for alkalinity. Some of them are more alkaline than acidic, but most of them are below 7. In fact, most of the most alkaline foods are below 7. It's unfortunate, it's a weird situation, but boy, does broccoli get a big rating. And so eating raw foods, when you cook them, you destroy a lot of nutrition. So broccoli, celery, asparagus, and all the greens and sprouts are how to alkalize your body. And then there's things you can take supplemental wise that can help alkalize your body. And it's somewhat controversial because it's not promoted a lot, but there's a thing called Hunza water. There's a story on Hunza water. And Hunza land is in the Himalayas. And I don't know if any of you saw the movie. This guy went into the Himalayas and got lost. And I guess he was near death, and these people picked him up and brought him to their place and healed him. And he discovered this community of people that were like, they could have babies at age 75 because they knew they were going to live to be 120 and their children would be adults. I'm not saying they did, I'm saying they could, and perhaps the research suggested that they did. And it was like 30 years ago, so I don't remember so much. But there's a guy named Dr. Patrick Flanagan who was a boy genius. And in his high school science fair, he invented I think it was a missile tracking system. Like, who does that in high school? And the Pentagon heard about this little feller and brought him into the think tank. So here he is, 18, 19 years old, in the think tank, and he met the father of fluid dynamics, whose name I didn't bother looking up again. And this guy said, I've been researching this Hunza water, and explained it all to him for 30 years. And I'm in my 80s, and I don't think I'm going to get to where I want to be with it. And here's my 30 years of research. And Patrick Flanagan put 30 years of research into it. And I'm sure he didn't sit at home and, like, either of them sat at home and focused exclusively on that, because, for example, the father of fluid dynamics, he had so many patents, and the list of his accomplishments fill the screen. And so, but 30 years later, Patrick Flanagan figured out a way to make it in a solid form, and they're nano clusters, he calls them. So nano meaning very, 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 very tiny particles. And it's in a powder form, and you can put it in your water, and it alkalizes your water, your body's fluids, and speeds up all that healing stuff from that. And it's probably the most powerful healing thing I've ever come across. And the suggestion is that anything else you consume becomes 300 to 500 times more powerful inside you by having Flanagan microclusters in your body. Now, I'll just caveat this with, there's a problem because of the border, and now the last bottle of it that I bought, I paid maybe 85 Canadian for it, and then our government charged me $65 to get it across the border, and I'm like, I can't do this, I'm sorry. So until we get rid of whatever's going on in the trade wars. Free trade, my bottom end. Anyway, unfortunate. So I have one little bit of it left, and I'm doling it out very carefully. There's some in that bottle though, along with lime juice, because limes and lemons are very alkalizing. You wouldn't think, right? They're acidic to the taste, but their ash is alkaline, and there's the determination that the science uses. It's what it is in its ash. So I drink lime water daily, and sea salt, Celtic sea salt in particular, and there's others that are high up there, has 120 minerals. And where are we getting our minerals from these days? Like, the soil is depleted. How can the plants give us minerals? We get what they have, but you need to supplement. And everybody had this big no salt rule. Don't eat salt. In fact, my naturopath told me not to have salt. There's enough salt in your vegetables. And so I stopped eating salt for how many years? And then I had this healing crisis, and in my conversation with this guy from on an online Zoom call, he said, yeah, you need to have, like, start eating teaspoons of salt at a time and mix it with baking soda. And make sure you get good baking soda, and the one is Red Mill. Red Mill baking soda has no impurities, and it's not processed with whatever it was. I think it was hexane, but I'm not sure because that was for something else, but I'm getting confused on that. Anyway, Red Mill is a good and so you can take a teaspoon of baking soda and a teaspoon of sea salt, and yeah, it's not the best flavor in the world. It's very strong, but it helps to alkalize your body. And I did it in about 2 months. I went from I think I was around 5.8, which is very dangerous, and I was in really rough shape, and I had all kinds of symptoms that I thought were old age. And this guy explained, no, none of that is old age. You're not old. These symptoms are from being acidic, and you're probably full of candida yeast. And it's the candida yeast, which is a fungus, and fungus has an intellect, and it was in my brain telling me to go buy more sugar. And I was overdosing on chocolate-covered almonds and ice cream and popcorn and potato chips, and yeah, I really was wrecking my health. So this turned around in 2 months by the book was called Alkalize, I forget, Alkalize for Health, something like that. Anyway, it's controversial, and the naturopath who wrote it has been in and out of jail, but I read that book, and I've been studying long enough to know the truth in it, and it's fabulous. And perhaps he did give some bad advice to some people, but Dr. Robert Young, there it is, and Alkalize for Life, I think is the title. Fantastic turnaround. But the whole thing of it all boils down to just eating alkaline foods, and you can Google what's in alkaline food. It's that easy. And eat it raw. And so as I regained my health, I was raised a carnivore. I started adding meat, and it didn't seem to affect very much. But a bag of chocolate-covered almonds sure did. And last Christmas was full of cookies and cakes and chocolate. And I had been on this incredible, like, zero sugar kick, and I was losing weight so fast, and everybody was like, well, are you okay? Like, I had people asking if I was well or not. I guess it looked like I shriveled up pretty quickly there in 2 months' time. But yeah, so you don't need to go on such a fast process as I did, but just including more raw food, can I say that enough? More raw food in your diet, and aiming for the best, the alkaline foods. So, and it's the same thing with superfoods. As I mentioned 2 weeks ago, that I became a certified raw food nutritionist under David Avocado Wolf, which I don't believe makes me a nutritionist. I'm sorry, there's so much more. But his cure for everything is raw food in smoothies with superfoods. So you put your chia seeds, you put your cacao, your bee pollen. I was putting like 15 different things in there, and I was making teas that he suggested with chaga mushrooms reishi mushrooms. Those are the two best. Chaga being the king of mushrooms, and turkey tail is reported to cure cancer, and lion's mane and to stimulate your brain. It's just fantastic stuff. So I was making these teas, and then I would use that tea as my liquid in my smoothie. And cordyceps is a great mushroom. Anyway, it goes on and on, right? There's so many things. But I just wanted to run over the list of superfoods that, so it's a phrase that I believe David Avocado Wolf, Avocado's a nickname, David Wolf suggested, and he coined the phrase, and I don't know, there's a lot of controversy around it, and I see a lot of posts that say, broccoli is a superfood. It's not in the list, but it's a great alkalizer. And so what David list is goji berries. Are you familiar with goji berries? Little red guys, yeah. Then raw cacao, maca root. Have you heard of maca root? Maca is, it's like your hormone precursors. And your body needs to make hormones. You can't just eat a hormone, but you eat the precursors and your body creates what it needs. Maca root is the top, and it's an antigen. Antigen meaning if you need something more of or you need something less of, it brings that about. It's not about one approach. This food is this gift from God that grows high up in the mountains, and it's South America somewhere, Peru perhaps, I forget, and it endures this intense heat high up in the mountain in the daytime when the sun's blasting it, and when the sun's gone, it's intense cold, and it lives through this shifting temperatures things. So there's its aptogenic quality in its own life cycle, and then it gives that back to us. Next is bee products, in particular bee pollen, but also royal jelly and, does it say here? Propolis. And propolis is used by the bees. They'll put it on the entrance to purify any bee coming in. His footprints are already cleaned up by the propolis being there. So imagine if we put that in our own body. And then blue-green algae, wild harvested, and they're saying from Klamath Lake, valued for brain health and all the trace minerals in it. And this is the thing about the sea water and seaweeds, is that they contain trace minerals that we don't often get in our foods. So any product from the sea, perhaps other than fish, and be careful with fish, and crustaceans. My favorite is shrimp, and Father's Day was shrimp and lobster, so go ahead and have it, but don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. And then aloe vera, which is, you got a sunburn, and you open up an aloe vera plant that's in your window, and rub that on, and the sunburn calms and cools in minutes. Being a very fair-skinned, fair-haired, blue-eyed Mennonite, oh man, I've had sunburns. And we didn't know about this when I was a kid, and I sure wish we did. I went through so much pain in several occasions. In fact, my brothers and I, one of us would wake up sobbing from the sunburn, and the other guy would just tickle, run the fingers. Are you familiar with this, over a sunburn? And it's like, suddenly the pins and needles sort of cease, and we would tickle each other back to sleep. It's not really tickling, right? It's just that really light touch. Fantastic brotherhood thing that I hold in memory, even though we don't get along anymore. Adulthood can ruin a beautiful relationship.
Just imagine.
Just imagine we still love each other, and we do, but we don't want to spend any time together, which is well, c'est la vie. Next is hemp seed. And hemp seed is one of those complete plant proteins, a perfect balance of essential fatty acids, omegas 3, 6, and 9. And we want these things in balance. And then coconut. Highly hydrating, healthy fats, minerals, and electrolyte-rich water. So I drink a lot of coconut water, and I've often used that in my smoothies. However, when you put coconut in a smoothie, you have to consume it very quickly because it turns. I don't know why. It's just personal experience with it. So, and then I added chia seeds, turmeric, all the spices, raw garlic, ginger, sprouts, and avocado. They weren't in there. David's nickname is avocado, but it's not one of the superfoods he listed. But it really is. It's fantastic. I eat avocado daily, and I highly recommend. They said 1 avocado a day, and I burst right over that and get a lot more than that. In fact, now you can buy guacamole in plastic squeeze tubes. It's $10 a tube, but it never goes brown. It's inside a sealed tube. The opening opens when you squeeze and it closes again automatically. It's a great design. Yay for plastic, which I detest. Poisonous stuff. It doesn't break down, and it's filling our land sites and our oceans and our rivers and streams. But here it has a fantastic use. And I was so upset about buying avocados and cutting it open. It's a brand new avocado and it's already brown, and toss it, you know. At least I had a compost heap. I was spending a lot of money to feed my compost. So very excited about that. And my alkaline foods of choice, I already sort of broke that down: broccoli, celery, asparagus, and greens with sprouts like romaine lettuce. I like romaine lettuce and field greens the best, and add parsley and cilantro because the herbs are nutrient dense. And I don't know if you realize, but the equivalent of our blood in a plant is chlorophyll. It's so close to our own blood. I think it's 1 molecule away from being the same as our blood. So eating a lot of dark greens brings in a lot of chlorophyll, and you can even buy bottled chlorophyll. I used to put a squirt of that in my smoothies as well. I don't make them anymore because I've moved so often, and my smoothie making stuff is in storage, and my superfoods is in a bin somewhere. I've been looking for it. My roommate has the smoothie making thing that I used. Anyway, get a good one. Get a good one. And smoothies are great, but I just stopped eating breakfast because it was part of my fasting, intermittent fasting program that went along with this whole weight loss thing, and it was great. So you can still eat meat in smaller amounts, preferably not daily. It's advised to take days off and have just vegetable meals. And the thing is, so my naturopath said about hydration: drink your water on an empty stomach and don't mix water with your food. So a lot of us tend to have a cup of coffee at our meal or a glass of wine at our meal. So you're diluting your food. When food goes into your stomach, your body adds liquids that break down the food. In fact, it creates more acid to break it down. And then as soon as it goes out of the stomach into the small intestine, the pancreas and gallbladder add more foods to break down the acid, or to alkalize the acid, so that it doesn't burn your intestines as it's going through. And that's where the nutrient is removed, is in the small intestine. And then in the large intestine removes the water for hydration. Oh, and cucumbers. Did I mention cucumbers? They're in that list as well. Yeah, I think I forgot to write that in there. Anyway, so he had me drinking 8 glasses of water a day, he, my naturopath, 8 glasses of water a day, and 2 as soon as I woke up in the morning, and a half hour before each meal. So what he explained is that when you start eating, in fact, as soon as you start chewing, your body draws water into the stomach, and the stomach is lined with mucus cells, form mucus in there, and the water is between the skin of the, I'll use the word skin, the dermis of the stomach, and the mucus is water, so that if any of that acid does make it through the mucus, it hits water and it doesn't burn and create ulcers. So many people have ulcer problems, and it's because they don't drink water before their meal to have that extra protection. That's not the only reason, but that's a major reason. And our medical people don't share that information with us. So here it is. drink half an hour before eating.
Drink before you have your meals?
Yeah, and a half hour so that that water has left. It takes about 20 minutes for a glass of water. It goes right through your stomach lining. It doesn't have to go through the whole digestive system. But if you have food in there, then it goes through the digestive system and your food is diluted, much harder, much more work to get any nutrients out. And you might be flushing nutrient that you didn't get because you didn't digest properly. The same thing with going to bed on an empty stomach, on a full stomach, which I'm still guilty of, I'm afraid. But you go to bed with food in your stomach. When you sleep, your digestion turns off. So that food just pushes through without getting proper nutrient absorption. So it's not a great way to eat. It's best to have 3 hours before you go to bed of not eating. So a meal with meat in it takes 3 hours before you drink again. A meal with only vegetables, 2 hours to drink again. And you can take sips. You can take small sips, but a full glass of water would dilute it far too much, or a full cup of coffee. And the thing about coffee is it is a diuretic. It chases water out of your body. And for us to be healthy, we need to be hydrated. So if you have a cup of coffee, you have to balance it with 2 glasses of water. It's a lot of drinking going on, right? And nobody's getting drunk. All right. So from there, I'd like to talk about how you cook. And this became a big issue, and I pursued this a lot. So the highest quality steel alloy cooking pans and pots and pans is highly recommended. Teflon coated is poisonous. Those glass ones made by DuPont, they're in an orange glass pot. They're toxic. And what happened in my life was this guy came in, and I went to a friend's place, and there was a demonstration on him selling his high quality cookware, and he put baking soda in a little bit of water in the Teflon coated pot, the porcelain pot, anyway, you have 4 or 5 different, and then you taste just a little touch on your tongue. Oh, it was awful until you got to the stainless steel, and it was okay. So there's there's his proof that he presented, true or not. But I bought the pots, and did I buy them from him or did I get them elsewhere? Anyway, mine were this Canadian-made, high quality, and right now they're sitting in a box in storage because I moved. I found them, but I'm living in a house that's fully furnished, and he's got Teflon, but he's got 1 good stainless steel frying pan and 3 or 4 good stainless steel pots. So I just don't see the point of bringing mine over. Anyway, cooking in high quality utensils is very important. And then, do you cook in oil? So the research I found is that adding oil and heat to any carbohydrate becomes toxic. So cook with water, cook with broth, and if you want oil on what you're eating, add it after. Take it off the heat and sprinkle it with your oil. Spritz it, however you want to do it. So, because the oils are good for you, and which oils are good for you? Anybody? Avocado, olive, and just those 2? I already mentioned the third. Olive, yeah, and coconut oil. So coconut oil and avocado oil have a very high heat burning point, and so you can cook with them, but you're still, if there's carbohydrates in that food, you're denaturing the carbohydrates by adding heat and oil. So cook with water, add your oils afterwards, is recommended. So there's a lot to talk about on the subject of foods, and oil in particular coconut oil. It's really good to eat a teaspoon of it a day. Have you heard of oil pulling? A few of you know? Okay, oil pulling is you have?
I'm saying coconut oil is also very good
For your scalp? Yeah, so is avocado oil. In fact, people will take the avocado pit and grind it and make a paste out of it. And but as you can see, it's not. No, I haven't tried it. It's not working, but I haven't tried it.
If you don't try it.
If you don't use it, it doesn't work, and you have to be consistent. And I just like putting all that oil in my hair. I've tried other hair oils, and well, as you can see, it didn't work. Anyway, so yeah, a tablespoon of coconut oil a day, and you can add more. Like oil doesn't. This is the whole thing that happened to the obesity pandemic in North America. Is they said fat is unhealthy, and there are unhealthy fats. All the seed oils, canola oil is not food. Canola oil is, put that in your vehicle. I don't know why they don't crack it and turn it into gasoline. It is not meant to go inside your body or on your skin. And you know, it's just, they cut out fat, and what did they do to make the food taste good? Because fat is what gave everything flavor, and they just added sugar. And here we are with an obesity pandemic, like, go figure, right? So, like I've seen it very much in my family. There's no old people left in my family, and there hasn't been for, like my parents died at, dad at 77, mom at 69. It just, you can't eat meat and potatoes, meat and potatoes, meat and potatoes, meat and potatoes, which is what our diet was. And all the breads and the sweet jams, homemade. Oh. In fact, Mom used to make pierogies the size of my hand because she's feeding 7 kids. It was just much easier to make them big. And then she'd put on this white cream gravy. Did we call it schmaltvat?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she'd make rhubarb jam hot off the stove. And I mean, you know there's sugar in there because rhubarbs are tart, right? And that would go on top. And that was supper, like, and we'd eat like, well, we'd go for 6 of them. I don't remember if I ever did, but oh my God, they were so good with that sauce and the rhubarb jam. But it's heart attack on a plate. So, you know, I don't cook like my brothers and sisters do. They went and had Mom come over and show them how while she was still with us, and they bake her bread, and it tastes so good. And my sister would always, I'd come into town, and my sister would say, "What would you like? I'm cooking." "Oh, waffles, please." And that came out that white cream gravy was now a pudding, and it, oh, but it tasted so good. And you know, to have it once in a year or so is okay, but you got to take care of yourself better than I was. So. And better than my brothers do, and they're all struggling with their health. David just came down with diabetes, so he went on the diet. The diet I told him about in the 80s that I was criticized for because I was preaching. And then he did it, and he cured his diabetes. So there you go. This diet is very important in your life. Include the herbs, include sauerkraut if you want probiotics. You're familiar? Love sauerkraut, but if you want the probiotics, you can't add heat. And you can't buy pasteurized sauerkraut. I mean, you can have it as well, but get your tablespoon of raw and get your probiotics. If you really want to be healthy, stop cooking. And crock pots are cooking, right? Eat your food raw. Yeah, sorry. And I knew this, I was told this. I looked at a friend of mine, he had trimmed right down, his skin was so beautiful, his eyes were so clear. "What are you doing?" "Henry, I'm eating raw." And this is like the 90s, and I didn't clue in. I was addicted to I was a good cook. Yeah, so fruits are great, but in my condition, when I was I so acidic, the only fruit I was allowed was pomegranate, because it's super good for your blood, and limes and lemons. But the most nutrient-dense foods are berries. Yeah. So I've taken to buying frozen berries, $5 for a bag, wild Canadian blueberries. So, and I pour them in a cup, about half to 3/4 full, because I love them, and I top that with coconut milk. Fruit is so high in enzymes that it self-digests. Your body doesn't need to work at it. And if you, I'll just finish this. If you add any other foods in there, you complicate that and you get bloating. And whether you notice it or not, it's happening. I never noticed it, but I took to the rule and eat my fruits separate from anything else. Coconut is heart healthy. Coconut oil is heart healthy. And you can read any of the gurus, Andrew Weir, for example, that's my stance on it. Yeah, I would eat more coconut oil if I had a heart condition. Provides all the nutrients your hearts need. It's fabulous stuff. Don't take my word for it. Please do your own research. I don't want to be blamed if something does go wrong, but that's my research. Then comes the medical mushrooms. And, you know, it's an interesting thing how God supports us in our journey. I went to a folk festival and I was talking to this guy. He came from, I had a tent up. I was offering massage. Ear Falls was a great festival out in Ear Falls, the Trout Forest Festival. And I have often performed there as well, but I was there as a massage therapist, and this guy and I were chatting, and the subject of chaga mushrooms came up. Oh, he says, "You want some? I'll get you some. I've been harvesting it." And he gave me this big, massive chunk of it like this. I don't know if you know what chaga is. It grows on, I believe, birch trees. And it looks like a big, like here's the branch, and this big, bulbous brown, looks like raw wood. And so you can't just eat it. You'd have to powder it. But I made teas, and I cooked it in the tea, and I made a tincture. I had a glass bottle with a spout on the bottom of it. I threw in some chaga. I should have crushed it into smaller pieces. I put in big pieces, and reishi, goji berries, cacao beans, I forget what else. And I added, at the time, I was able to get some 90% proof alcohol. And then when I had consumed some of it, or when it sucked into the chaga, whichever way it went, I tried to get more, and the best I could do was 75% because of Canadian liquor laws. 0 alcohol is okay for you. Not to say I don't every now and then have a little, you know, imbibe a little, but yeah, 0. Supplements. Over-the-counter supplements are making really nice toilet water. I'm sorry, they're not doing much for you at all. But I was told to buy a multivitamin in my latest crisis, and so I went to Vita Health, and I had to spend $80 for a month's supply to get anything of value. And you know, my naturopath, he never gave me anything that you could buy on a shelf. They were naturopathic quality. So here's your challenge with supplements, right? You have to spend a lot of money and do your research, which ones. Ones that I do like, for example, dandelion and milk thistle, and they're herbs. They're not really supplements, are they?